your path to greatness might be hindered by a very common mistake that we, as men, often commit. But don't worry, if you want to join this 1% group, I have for you a list of the 7 mistakes you must stop making to become a natural conqueror. If you're watching this video, it's because this information interests you, and I can assure you that you must know it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss out on the content we have for you. Number 1. Stop exaggerating in front of the woman you like. 99% of men want to do everything possible to make women notice their presence, like speaking loudly or laughing excessively. Contrary to what you're aiming for, you won't come across well. In fact, you might be labeled as strange. When we like someone, it's important to control our behavior to avoid negative consequences. Firstly, if we exaggerate our behavior, we can give the impression of being needy or desperate, which could push the other person away. It's also likely that we'll end up overwhelming her if we constantly seek her attention. Secondly, if we exaggerate our behavior, we might lose our authenticity and true personality. If we try too hard to impress someone, we might distance ourselves from who we truly are, which could lead to an inauthentic and unsatisfying relationship in the long run. Lastly, exaggerating our behavior can lead us to make mistakes or say things that don't reflect our true beliefs or feelings. When trying to impress someone, we might feel pressured to act a certain way or say things that aren't true, causing misunderstandings and issues in the relationship. Number 2. An overdone look. It's natural to want to look good all the time, but going overboard with your personal grooming can reveal your interest in someone. I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of yourself, but remember that your natural self is what truly makes you irresistible. Over-grooming when you're interested in someone can have negative consequences. Let me explain why. Firstly, over-grooming can make the person feel uncomfortable or intimidated. If the person you're interested in senses that you're trying too hard to impress her, she might feel overwhelmed and pull away. This is especially true if the person is shy or reserved, as she might feel she can't compete with the idealized image you're trying to project. Secondly, over-grooming can lead to a misconception. If the person you're interested in feels that you're trying to be someone you're not or that you're hiding something, she might lose trust in you. On the contrary, it's important to be authentic and allow the person to get to know you as you truly are. That's why it's important to let go of the arrogance of trying to look good all the time and exaggerating your outfits. Far from making you irresistible, you become a repellent to women. Number 3. Making promises through messages. Failing in person. When you're dating someone, it's normal to communicate primarily through messages at the beginning. Whether through video calls or voice messages, it's a good way to break the ice and get to know each other better. However, you mustn't overlook the importance of having real-life encounters to deepen your relationship. It's not just about romantic dates at restaurants, but also about having diverse experiences together to get to know each other better. And believe me, the more varied your experiences, the deeper your connection will be. But be careful, sending too many text messages can be a mistake. If you constantly send messages, you might come across as needy or desperate, which can be a red flag for the other person. Instead of flooding her phone with messages, it's better to have efficient communication and respect your response time. This way, you can avoid misunderstandings and confusion and build a healthy and balanced relationship. Number 4. Don't play hard to get. It's common to think that playing hard to get is the best strategy to show interest and maintain the other person's interest in a relationship. However, this attitude can have negative consequences instead of positive ones. On one hand, showing an inaccessible or uncommitted attitude can make the other person feel confused or frustrated, and even lead to losing interest. On the other hand, a fake or inauthentic attitude can be counterproductive in establishing a healthy and honest relationship. It's important to find a balance between showing interest and respecting the other person's freedom and space. Honest and sincere communication is key to building a strong and lasting relationship and can be more effective than trying to appear difficult or unattainable. Number 5. Stop getting too carried away. We know you're super excited about the person you like so much, but thinking that you'll last a lifetime and making future plans takes time. You must first get to know each other better through spending time together. If you get too carried away when you've barely started, things might not turn out as you dreamed, and it can be very painful. When we get too carried away with something or someone, we can be exposed to negative consequences in our emotional and personal lives. On one hand, we can lose perspective and reality if we let ourselves be carried away by emotion and illusion, which can lead us to make impulsive and unrealistic decisions that can have negative long-term consequences. On the other hand, if our expectations are too high and things don't go as we hoped, we can feel anxiety, sadness, or depression, which can have a negative impact on our emotional health. Additionally, if we get too carried away with someone or something, we can become overly dependent on it, which can be dangerous for our mental well-being if the other person or situation doesn't meet our expectations. This can lead us to feel desperate or hopeless, which can be difficult to overcome. Number 6. Pretending to be something you're not. This happens a lot. And it's normal. After all, we have to impress the girl we want to date, right? But be careful not to exaggerate and border on the ridiculous. Remember that both you and she will be nervous on the first day, so being yourself can be an advantage. Pretending to be someone you're not is not sustainable over time. Trying to maintain a false image or acting contrary to your true personality will eventually become difficult and exhausting, mainly because the other person might notice. And you know what happens if she notices. Exactly. She pulls away. On the other hand, starting a relationship based on lies and deception might not be a very good idea, especially because you'd be betraying the trust she gave you, ending up looking like a fool. And on this channel, we teach you to be a winner, not a fool. Number 7. Don't be too nice. The nice guy behavior hasn't been useful for anyone and can make you vulnerable to being used by others. However, this doesn't mean you should become a misogynist or an annoying teenager. Instead, it's about treating the other person similarly to how you treat your friends and, occasionally, showing a slight disinterest. It's important to note that being a good person is not the same as being overly nice, as this can lead to the dreaded friend zone. Acting like the nice guy just to impress someone doesn't allow you to be authentic. If you try to fit into an idealized image of what you think the other person wants, you'll be dishonest with yourself and with her. Instead of presenting a false image of yourself, it's important to be yourself to build a healthy relationship. The nice guy attitude can make you seem uninteresting or unattractive to women. If you always agree with everything the other person says or does, you're not showing your own personality or unique perspective. It's important to have your own opinions and show your own personality to build a good relationship. Finally, I want to remind you that at the beginning, it might seem challenging to unlearn all these bad habits you've developed throughout your life. However, it's time for you to break away from everything you've learned and start following the advice we give you. Did you like this video? Subscribe and turn on notifications.